Maiden speech, Saqib Bhatti.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I'm going to start by congratulating all my honourable friends and colleagues who have given their maiden speeches today and in recent weeks. They truly have been of the highest order. And I give my maiden proudly representing the constituency of Meriden. Mr. Deputy Speaker, we're all the product of our journeys, so I'm grateful and privileged that I can stand here thanking those that have been part of mine. My friends, my other half, my family. Thank you. My predecessor, Dame Caroline Spellman, was a mightily impressive colleague and friend to many in the House. During her 22-year career, she held a number of important positions, like party chairperson, several shadow cabinet positions, Second Church Estates Commissioner, and Secretary of State for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs. She did all of these with distinction, whilst demonstrating an unrelenting dedication to her constituents. A dedication, Mr. Deputy Speaker, that I hope to emulate. And I'm sure that the whole House will join me in congratulating her son David, who last month rode across the Atlantic with a friend as part of the Talisker Challenge and broke the world record. Yeah. Mr. Deputy Speaker, Meriden is the largest constituency by geographical size in the West Midlands. We have beautiful countryside, booming local businesses and a vibrant community spirit. My constituency takes its name from the village of Meriden, known as Alspeth in the Domesday Book, and it originally made up part of Lady Godiva's estate. And as many members of this House will know, Lady Godiva rode through the streets of Coventry naked in protest against her husband's tax rises. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I have a lot in common with Lady Godiva. I don't know why they're all laughing. I love horses, and like Lady Godiva, I'm a big advocate for low taxation. But I'm going to wait for the budget this time before I decide to what degree and how I protest any new taxes.
My hair's a bit short then.
In the Domesday Book, Meriden was known as the true centre of England. That was until the early 2000s, when an overzealous team at the Ordnance Survey decided that the centre of England was in fact in my honourable friend's constituency of Bosworth. But since I'm not a bitter man, and I don't hold a grudge, Mr. Deputy Speaker, let me tell you why Meriden is still the beating heart of this country. I wanted to speak in the environment debate, because my constituency has an excellent track record in the green agenda. And Solihull Borough Council, my council, committed to becoming carbon neutral by 2030. The environment will pervade every area of policy making for my generation and many future generations to come. Infrastructure projects like the ones in my constituency bring with them air pollution, noise pollution and continuous threats to the green belt. And I will work hard to represent my constituents so progress and development never mean compromising on our quality of life. It's a tricky topic, but it's one that I will never shy away from. Meriden is unique and picturesque. It has over 300 listed buildings. It's steeped in history. It has idyllic villages like Hampton in Arden, Knoll, Dorridge, Catherine de Barnes, Balsall Common, just to name a few. They capture the true character of the great British countryside, like nowhere else, despite what the honourable member for Runnymede and Weybridge tried to tell you earlier. Meriden is also home to the Birmingham Airport, the National Exhibition Centre, rail links to every part of the country. Soon we'll be home to a certain high-speed rail link and interchange station, a Jaguar Land Rover plant, the prestigious Blythe Valley Business Park and the Birmingham Business Park, which house names like Oracle, Arup and Rolls-Royce, and then new market disruptors like Gymshark. However, Mr. Deputy Speaker, as you travel north up my constituency, there are communities in greater need of opportunity, like Chelmsley Wood, Castle Bromwich, Smithswood, Kingshurst and Fordbridge, where I see hard-working, socially conscious people who just haven't experienced the benefit of economic progress. Recent decades have seen more investment in these areas, and new facilities do bring new opportunities. But as far as I'm concerned, until all members of our society feel the effects of economic success, our job as parliamentarians is just not finished. As a former businessman and a former president of one of the largest chambers of commerce in the country, I've always advocated for social progress through economic progress, and indeed the role that business plays as a force for good in society. That is why I believe we must do all we can to support business to thrive, to allow entrepreneurs to take risks and create jobs, and to drive society forward. It's the only way, Mr. Deputy Speaker, that we will address the injustice of inequality. Because the life expectancy between Knoll in the south of my constituency and Chelmsley Wood in the north is 10 years, the difference in life expectancy. And with crime levels higher and the employment levels lower, there is something inherently unfair about the disparity of life prospects of two children born in the same constituency a mere 8 miles apart. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the primary reason why any of us enter politics is because we want to make the lives of the people we serve better. And when I say this to you, I'm thinking of that young boy or girl who's working hard right now to get those grades to be the first in their family to get that apprenticeship or go to university. Or maybe they're on that athletic track, running that extra lap so that they can one day represent their country on the international stage and return triumphantly. I'm thinking of that recruit to the emergency services or the armed forces who are willing to risk their life or limb for this beautiful nation of ours. Or I'm thinking of that immigrant who came to this country, leaving everything behind to build a better life for themselves and their family. And you may ask, what unites us in our love for our country? It's simple. We dare to believe. We dare to believe in a country where our children will have the best opportunities in life, and our pensioners can grow old and live with dignity. We dare to believe in a country that is open, inclusive, and optimistic. And there are those small few, who may try to create disunity amongst us. But we must always remember that hope and opportunity will always defeat ideologies of division and hate. Mr. Deputy Speaker, there is no legal remain. There is only our great global Britain. The Britain that says it doesn't matter where you were born, or where you come from, or what you believe, or who you love, or even what anyone else says you are capable of achieving. Instead, as long as you share our values of respect, hard work, and you stand for what is right, you can achieve anything. We live and we serve in the best country in the world. Unwavering in our commitment to our values, we have remained faithful to our vision for a better world. And we have always stood tall and firmly in the face of adversity. We must hold that vision now more closely and dearly than ever before. Because as we embark on that final leg of a journey to our newfound independence, it is now that we must remember our old friends and we must seek out our new ones. It is now that we must speak up and act for those facing persecution and oppression across the world. It is now that we must take the threats to our environment seriously and the threats to our society. We must now remember everything that we have in common, everything which unites us, and we must dare to believe. Yeah.